All right. So no slithering today is gonna be. It's gonna be a blizzard. But I think I'm about to go get me some wings and fries again. This that kind of weather. But I went and got a coffee in one of my little, I'm not gonna say favorite spots, but my auxiliary spots. Before I forget, there's a couple different things that I've been thinking about. One is Def Jam South and one is Stardust. As y'all all know, that's been tuning into this channel. For those that have been tuning in, I've had some recommendations where people would have saying that I should start putting a part 2 to my addendums. And you know what? That's probably good. So what I'm gonna start doing is, if I tell a story, it's gonna be a story and then it's gonna be an addendum. You might see me go back and forth between different stories, and some of y'all gonna be sitting there thinking like, man, you really like these characters, or you really like these bras or whatever. Well, you gotta understand, there's bits and pieces that I might have missed that's suitable on my journey. So it's not that I was necessarily, some of these. Here's another thing too, y'all got to keep in mind. These stories invoke a certain memory and emotional response because I was thinking about how I felt at the time and how the people might have made me feel at the time. I might have been in a situation where I'm talking to somebody and I might have just hit a big ass lick, and then I might have just went flat broke. You know what I'm saying? Or so this story is not, it's not a love story. It's like a love-hate story. Not a love-hate story, but it's not a love story. It's the trials and the tribulations. You know what I'm saying? And it's bad decision after bad decision after bad damn decision. As a 20-year-old, it's a 20-year-old knucklehead that don't really know shit. You know what I'm saying? Like that's kind of what this is, going into the tech arena and the tech field. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all, when I really think about it, I'm not really sure how I was able to even figure this stuff out. Because yeah, I mean, we're tacit learners. Black people were tacit learners, but there was no blueprint or no footprint for me to follow. Literally, there was absolutely no support or help, far as there's somebody that, it was just bits and pieces that left the way. And I think with my parents, they probably figured that, well, he's probably the strongest one. We're not just gonna have no issues with him. He's gonna figure it out. He's gonna bump his head, but he's gonna figure it out, and he's gonna figure it out fast. And I did. Now, had I would have went to college, would it have went faster? No, it wouldn't have. Because you got to keep in mind, the hustle that I had and the pace that I was accelerating at, the college would have just been that piece of paper, but I'm not really getting real world experience. And that's why I made that. That's why I keep on making the videos about humanizing the dope fiend. I shouldn't be laughing, but y'all be making me laugh about some of this stuff. But the dope fiends used to break bread with me. And sometimes they had CDRs and they had stuff. They were very resourceful. So let's get into the story real quick about, we're going to talk about Stardust. And then I might make another part about Def Jam South. Stardust was a bowling alley where everybody went. Everybody kind of went. So I'm going up to Stardust sometime, and I could keenly remember, because I remember when I first started getting my hair braided. This had to have been 97, maybe 98. And at this point in time, I know I was hustling, because around this time, it was this native chick that was older than me. She used to buy CDs from me. And she stayed right on them back blocks in the 20s, which we're going to go over once again, probably next week. So at one point, once I started getting the cornrows done, because a lot of times when you first start growing out your hair, all the women want to braid it, and a lot of times they don't even charge you. When it starts getting longer, they start being like, okay, well, now I'm about to. But when they first find out about it, they want to get in that head, especially if they like you. You know what I'm saying? That's what my experience was, and I ain't had no problem paying. I would have rather paid, because then they can't say that, So, but now So one day, like, it was my first time that I got it. Well, not the first time, but like the second time, and it was so painful I wanted to cut it off. And they made it real tight. So we going to Stardust with my home. We in Jay's Caprice this particular day. Now, the Stardust place is a place where you go to hang out with your homies. At that point, I don't think I was old enough to drink. I might have had some homies that was, but it's right over there in the Seward neighborhood. And it's really, really sad to see it go, but they made some changes because I think there might have been fights or a couple shootings or something like that. And actually, there was a club over there. I don't know if y'all remember, but there was a club over there. I keenly remember that back in the 90s, and somebody got shot there, and it was over with in that neighborhood. You know, Seward neighborhood, they ain't really going for none of that, you know, long term. They're not just gonna let that, you know. So we go up to Stardust, my head hurting. I wish they would have gave me something to drink and smoke on, but my head was hurting. And it was so bad till I was putting my head down at a table and stuff like that. So I'm not really paying attention to the brawls too much like that. They looking at me, but I'm like, man. And so, you know, I'm you know, naturally, I'm always looking very, very, very extremely young. But I'm not hardly paying attention to none of them because my head hurts so damn bad that I really don't know what to do. Like I said, this is sentimental weather for me, man, because we used to be out in this, just moving around, hustling, even for a car. So I'm sitting there with my head down, kind of like this, and people asking me like, hey bro, man, what's wrong with you? I said, man, I got a headache, bro. Like, my head was just pounding, and it was because they had tightened up the braid. So one particular day, there's three parts to this story. It's not going to be very long, but one particular day, and I'm gonna tell you something else about Stardust. Stardust was the quintessential dating spot. If you was in South Minneapolis, you know, some people went to, like, when we were younger, and maybe a little younger than that, we went to, there was a skating rink. Now, Stack will know about this one, because this skate rink was kind of turned up. I think it was in St. Louis Park, but it was kind of turned up. So, I mean, I'm just going to tell you, the climate of the sets out there were, it's people was tripping a little bit, you know, but it was a good place to skate. I never was good at skating. But Stardust, if you over south, if you're in South Minneapolis, especially Seward or anywhere over south, you gonna come to Stardust. I don't think the North Side had one. They might have had one, but Stardust Lanes was the place. If you gonna go on a date or whatever, like I say, man, listen, a box Caprice, Denny's, or Benihana's, or Stardust, or damn it, they called it the Show. The Show is downtown. That's what the Chicago people, they call it the Show. They don't call it the theater. They call it the Show. They said, babe, Joe, we about to go to the Show. They shut that down because people was acting a fool. People was doing all kind of stuff down there. Mall of America had a theater. That was a thing. You could go out to the mall. These were things that you did in your 20s, and ain't nobody really tripping. You talking to a chick in your 20s, or you're in your teens or whatever like that, and you take her somewhere, man, she okay with that. She's totally fine, man. As long as she's being shown some love, like, okay, he's willing to take me out or whatever, like, and it don't cost shit. That's why the D-boys had it so good, because you got the fine clothes, you got the car, they gon', they know that they like the D-boy because the D-boy, they felt, is dangerous. He's aggressive about what he wants, and he gonna get up and go get it. So right or wrong, the D-boy, his mindset is, I gotta have it. So he's getting up at sometimes 6 in the morning. Sometimes he might be selling dope till 4, 5 in the morning. That nigga's not lazy. He's not. So Stardust, man, they pulling up in all these cars and stuff like that. Niggas got Caprices, they got the Rivieras, they got the Bubble Chevys. A couple brothers had the Impala. Not everybody had that Impala, so people are pulling up, man. Everybody is, and surprisingly with Stardust, I didn't really see no fights when I went up in there. But I mean, the takings was just, it's like, I remember one time I went up in there one time, man, and I distinctly remember one of my homies, I don't remember who it was, but he was like, man, tonight's good, bro. Like, it feel good. They said none of the women acting funny, because sometimes you might go up in there and, they could be acting funny or whatever like that. But it was just all the vibe. I remember that night because the vibe was just off the rocker. The women was choosing. So we get there one time. I'm with two of my homies. One of my homies, he got the box. I'm sitting in the back. Some native mob dude, he comes out. Maybe he wasn't getting no place, so I guess he was already drinking. So he comes up to our car. He's mugging and carrying on and stuff like that. And I'm sitting in the back. My homie sitting in the front, and my other homie sitting, you know, he's in. Or we get parked. We ain't even went in yet. So dude walks up. He's sitting up there. He's yapping at the mouth. What y'all looking at? Nigga this, nigga that, blah, 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 blah. And he got one of his homies. He trying to calm him down. So I take my shirt off. Or I had a jacket or something. So I take my jacket off. And I'm just kind of, you know, he can't really see me too well. But I'm just kind of, and I'm just trying to figure out what's up with, like, are we going to whoop this dude? Because he with his people too. You know what I'm saying? And eventually, cooler heads prevailed. They got him away. It's like, man, get away from the car, bro. We telling him, hey, get away from the car, because his homie's trying to defuse the situation. So we not going to turn up even more. Now, if you might have one of them ignorant homies, he goes straight into the level 0 and or level 100. But, you know, we trying to go inside. You walking up on the car on us and stuff like that. So we telling him, man, hey, bro, move. Get away from the car, bro. Man, this, that, third, these. And we like, man, you can just get away from the car, bro. If you're not talking about nothing, you ain't doing nothing, get away from my car. Or that's what he telling him, get away from my car. And so we eventually get out the car. We go inside. And it's a night to be reckoned with. It's just a good old night. And ain't nobody bowling. You know, people are drinking. I don't think I could drink at that time. So there was another situation. It was kind of cold outside. And this was around the time that I met the native chick. And so I had a little crush on her and stuff. I met her at Cub. You know what I'm saying? And she used to always support me. Like, she used to always buy the CDs and stuff like that. I'm steady trying to holler at her and stuff like that. And she's telling me, like, you know, little boy, you too young for me or whatever like that. So I'm steady trying to holler at her and stuff like that. And she a little older. And, you know, it kind of, when I first met her, I'm talking to her. And if I ever get that picture, I had a picture she had took of me. You know what I'm saying? So we had just got real cool over the years. And like, she used to pass out CDs and stuff. And even when I made my Welcome to Woods, I told her about it later on. She must have like contacted me like, man, you still doing the music stuff? And so she must have heard my music. She said, oh, we gonna pass these joints out. So I started pressing up my Welcome to the Woods around about 2015. You know what I'm saying? So she was like an older, she was always older. So like when I first met her, I was like a kid. I was like 16, 17. I was working at Cub. So around that time, that had to have been 99. 3-6 Mafia came out in 99. I got that CD burner. That CD burner got released June or July 99 or something. I had to have got it around about that time. So I probably had met her in maybe 99, 2000. But I met her at Cub. So, you know, I distinctly remember the situation, because I'm steady trying to talk to her. And she's like, man, well, you know, what you gonna do for me or whatever like that. And I'm trying to figure out, she sound real black. Well, she grew up with black folk, you know what I'm saying? And she didn't stay in Little Earth, but she stayed kind of around there. So, you know, but over the years, she always bought CDs for me. She always bought mixtapes and CDs. Even when I stayed at Cedar Riverside, she always was supportive of what I was doing. Like, she always break bread. She always bring me customers for computer repair and stuff like that. So, you know, this was like a long time friend, a long time customer, a long time supporter. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, like, and she used to have her people come by. She used to have her people come by. You know what I mean? And so yeah, it was done. But anyway, that Stardust, man, that Stardust was I might make a couple videos for it, or I might just leave this as a memory. But what I will do is I'll post, if I don't put no AI, I'm gonna post some actual Stardust videos of Stardust lanes. They changed it up. They start changing the music. This is what happens. They change the music up, and they know black folks be like, okay, if they're playing country or whatever they playing, you ain't gonna come. You're not gonna come over there or whatever, unless you just got like a little date or whatever, you know. But after that, you know, years down the line, you know, they changed that up. So next story we gonna do, I might do the Def Jam South thing and talk about like with the music in terms of what we were listening to around that Scarface to Fix was something else.